100-yard dash. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. They will not stop me. Tenfold. Copy. End zone. Watch me celebrate. I'm copy. I do my dance. Jump in the stands. No man, man. Oh, there with the hands. Thought they could guard me. I ruin their plans. I do what I want. They do what they can. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. Yeah. They can't catch up because they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs.
Hey, everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Atlanta Falcons. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports.
Massachusetts is putting a ban on all vaping products? That is interesting, because the only deaths are happening from the vaping products are only the black market juices, not everything else that's actually stable.
Hello again, everyone. Brandon
That is
along with Charles Davis. And Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they interplay. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Rams, it's been a great start to the season. Back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
RTD's newest rail line is up in the air.
There's still
the
a
end
lot
line
of season
will
to
now
go,
open in
but
either
they've come
May
out
or
playing good
August
fundamental
of
football,
2020.
and that might carry them a
Originally
long
supposed to
way.
open in early 2020. Once open, the commuter rail line will serve riders traveling between Denver and Adams County, including Commerce City, North Glen, and Thornton.
It's the first weekend
Denver
of autumn, and the
is still in the
NFL is
running
in full
to home the
swing as
National
off we
Medal of
go
Honor
on
Museum.
EA
Last
Sports.
night, the RTD board
And this will be a
reversed its
touchback as
decision
that
and voted
sails over the
unanimously
end
in favor of a
line.
lead
So here come the
and
Falcons now to get the football for the first time. As we get a peek at Matt Ryan,
And
the man
Arapahoe
who's been in the
Basin
league
has a
since
new
back in
downhill run made
2008.
just for
It was
mountain
fun getting
bikers.
ready for this game,
Construction
wasn't
is
it?
now
Because
complete on the
normally we talk to the
Atomic
coaches
Janitor
and the
Trail
players.
just in
I
time
think you and I asked to talk to the trainer to see how his arm is going to be.
Ice
all
after last
downhill
week.
for mountain
After
bikers.
last week's game, boy, what a performance that was. And you know who else is having fun? Receivers. Because they get a chance to do what they do best, which is go out and catch the ball.
And down he goes on the pressure from the Rams defense.
From NBC Sports
Khalil
Update
Mack
at 11:09 a.m.
coming
today.
in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Week heading into week 4 of the NFL season. Jalen Ramsey is back with the
They'll
Jaguars.
run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Yeah, they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long.
Sometime this week. Reports coming out of the NFL say that Melvin Gordon of the LA Chargers could be coming back sooner than expected. He's been holding out due to a contractual dispute. He's got to be back before November 29th to accrue the season toward free agency. He'll be back sometime.
Out of the gun, it's Ryan. Gets it off to Freeman. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the third down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bring up fourth down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure they didn't give up much run after catch.
A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. So the Rams in great position here as they get things started. They will be led out by a second-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
And I thought it was a really nice performance last week by him. 3 touchdown passes. I think that signifies exactly what he was getting done. He did have the one interception.
But that's the ratio you say you're okay with, right?
If you go 3-to-1, you're going to be pretty happy over the course of the season. And let's face it, he'll never blame the receiver publicly. But behind closed doors, he probably told his agent, hey, what's the deal? I should have had a perfect game.
Block off of play action. Man open left side is Brown. A really nice gain of 25 yards. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 4 catches, 108 for the yardage and the score, too. Now Locke.
Look, I know everybody wants to be number 1 in everything they do, but he's number 2 in the league in receiving yards. That's a strong number, a strong year, and they want that to continue.
And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
On 2nd and goal, Locke, and it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Marquise Brown, his 2nd touchdown on the season, and they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went
and
3
now
and
they
out.
have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. He completes it to Julio Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down. So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. The throw here going to be complete to Gordon. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Back now in Atlanta, 2nd quarter action. The Falcons with the football as they've got it 2nd and 7. Back now in Atlanta, 2nd quarter action. The Falcons with the football as they've got it 2nd and 7. Ryan leads with Freeman on the draw. And the Rams defense gets to him again behind the line of scrimmage. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. So a 3rd and 9 and 6 defensive backs out there in the dime.
Patrolling the passing lanes.
From the shotgun, Ryan. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Khalil Mack, his 2nd sack of the night. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
And the Rams getting set to go now. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throwing now is Locke. He's going to rifle and got his man complete. 20, 10, touchdown, L.A. Hollywood, Marquise Brown. An 80-yard touchdown. And the Rams strike quickly here for 6 points. And he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
McManus's point after is good, and it's now 14-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. A gain of 6 there on first. 2 minutes to play first half. It's 14-0. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. From the gun, it's Ryan. And he will find Ridley on the left side. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. The left side completion to Jones. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You've got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
Call that a very strong gain of 24. Lock now on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So on now is Brandon McManus. He has hit from as far away as 57, but that was in Denver. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. So we've come to halftime. It's the visiting Rams taking the lead to the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start over at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, where it was the Bucs who were able to get the victory at home. 28-14 was your final score. From there, it's up to New Era Field in Orchard Park to check on the Bills. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Pittsburgh Steelers. A 10-point victory in the end. 24-14, the final. And finally, on Monday Night Football, they've got a good one lined up between the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Dow is up 130 points, back over 26,900. Oil prices sinking further, getting close to $56 a barrel.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Rams going to get the football first here, and they look to build on their lead as the second half gets started. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. He's had one of those games that any quarterback loves, not only being able to complete some passes, but some deep passes.
And it's pretty to watch. I mean, it's an absolute joy to see, but let's face it, we got to give a little bit of credit where it's deserved, right?
Well, the protection's been great. That's where you're going.
Yeah, protection's been phenomenal, but how about how it's been spotlighted, right? Our producer, Christian McLeod, our director, Kyle Burt, the rest of the crew, what they put together with these images and pictures, if you're an offensive lineman, that's what you're taking with you to contract time.
They're going to have a lot to take to contract time if this continues. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. On 1st and 10, here's Locke. He's got his tight end over the middle, T.J. Hockenson. And now nothing but green ahead of him. Past the 20, 10, touchdown L.A. T.J. Hockenson, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Rams tack on to their advantage. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
From the 30 on second down, Ryan, and with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
It's taken to the 26. Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in, as they'll have a short field here on 1st and 10. On 1st down, Locke. Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A gain there of 12 yards and a 1st down L.A.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Wide open receiver complete. A good pickup there at 22.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball.
And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. T.J. Hockenson. A beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game as his guys continue to pour it on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
56, Mike, 56, right there.
On third down, Ryan looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
To throw it is Locke. And it's caught. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. T.J. Hockenson with touchdown number 3 in the game and 6 on the year. And the Rams use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point from McManus is good. And that will extend this big lead. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Our defense was here week 1.
Atlanta now coming out.
Our defense against KC was non-existent. Now our defense is right back in Atlanta. That's interesting.
100 yards yet, and in today's NFL,
under a heavy rush and down he goes. Malik Jackson, the 6'5" D tackle with a sack. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing on second and long. Ryan. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. Call it a gain of 5. And it'll be a third and about 13. Third and long. It's Ryan. And the Rams got him. They bring him down. Khalil Mack able to record his 5th sack of the season.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Go.
Fielded at about the 28.
Go. 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 Stay up. Shit.
So possession goes over here on the punt.
Hey, those are the words I say.
Lock now on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open.
Hey, I need 2 first downs.
And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. So now following the big play, they've got a first and goal all the way down at the 10. They look to throw. It's Locke being chased outlet, and he will get into the end zone.
Screw 2 first downs. I tried.
Touchdown. This thing is ugly. Now it's looking incredibly likely to be a 3-0 start to this season. That is obviously excellent. 2-0 is one thing. 3-0, you really have some momentum.
And now they're serving notice to the rest of the league that they're a pretty darn good football team. Confident, aggressive, attacking at all times. This looks like a team that you're going to have to deal with. And guess what? Behind closed doors, they're trying to figure out ways to get better.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
To throw again on second down. Ryan looking sideline, incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Now it's Ryan. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down.
Cut intercepted it again.
Jarwin, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Now Ryan. Incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Shit.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. And you know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The intended target, T.J. Hawkinson. And it's 2nd down. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Lock. And he comes back with one complete. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Lock to Latimer for 94 yards.
They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that's 6. To throw is Ryan. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 conversion and 8 tries. Not good. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. This one to Jarwin over the middle. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. So the L.A. Rams with a victory here. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense through the shutout, Adam. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for L.A., it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers.
Oof. Have fun with that, Atlanta.
I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here.
And don't forget about me.
On EA Sports.
The fuck?